Happy Halloween. Welcome to this Flipped Friday session for today, October 31st, 2014. And this again involves kind of a continued study of learning targets, but today digging a bit deeper into unit targets with some sub-targets inside and how you can make a big unit, beginning with the end in mind. So, some of the same concepts that we've been touching on. And also in response to staff requests for the reality that the quarter dip is here. So we got those quarter report cards, and that becomes a challenge for a lot of students that we all can all think of, and also it becomes a challenge for us when we're in those classrooms, trying to work and teach. And some kids, quite honestly, begin to disrupt that learning environment for you as a teacher and for the rest of the students. And so, I've tried to, in this particular flipped lesson, include some motivation information and maybe some helpful reminders for you if that's something that you're looking for. Every one of you needs or wants something different, and that hasn't changed in terms of staff development. And so we, in all the things that we do, we continue to listen to the concerns that you bring to us and the things that we as administrators see in our visits to your classrooms, and also continuing with our plan of the support that we need and to drive those next steps. So we're continually trying to evaluate that to make sure that we are meeting your needs. Now, as always, if the things that we're presenting to you or sharing with you still don't meet the specific need that you have in your classroom, please, you got to let us know. You got to communicate with us and ask. And certainly, I'm not an expert. None of us are experts, but we can certainly work through it with you and try to find a good solution. Again, my goal, as I've shared before, is to provide you with more research-based support in the area, especially of formative assessment and grading. But in this case, it kind of stretches into a little bit of the bigger picture planning and the learning targets, and in some cases engagement, which, as we all know, it's kind of hard to separate one of those from the other. It seems like they all have a little bit of interconnectedness. So your task for today, this is one of the shorter videos you've had. Your task for the day is to read the unit plan passage from the Dweck book, and it's 20 pages. But you remember from the other things that I've posted, it's going to be a very quick read for you, and some really good information in there. Very helpful tips and strategies of how to write learning goals, learning targets, how to write them in even I can statements and I can format. And so again, anything that I give you, I want it to be research based, but I also want it to have some information there that is usable, that you can take right after you read it and use it in your rooms. And so that's some of the things that in conversations that I've had with some of you, and responses we've had, and things we've seen in different observations and walkthroughs and informals and formals. I think there's some very helpful pieces there. Everything else on this blend space is optional. There's an article about motivation. There's an article about learning targets, so just a little bit different look at learning targets with some examples. And then there are some what I call them posters. They're just one-page motivation reminders. One page, there's actually one of them is the top 12 demotivators that came from student voices. So anyway, it's some things I think that can be reflective, help you think about your practice, and again, always trying to give you some things that are usable in your classrooms. The last step, and again, I'm trying to make us all grow a little bit and get out of our comfort zones, is using the Google community that I created for middle school, high school staff, and that I send different calendar entries, and I'm trying to use it more myself as a means to communicate and share information with you. But I want each of you to go to the middle school, high school certified staff Google community, and in the Share What's New box, just write a brief statement of anything that you took off of this blend space. And again, it doesn't have to be something that you implemented and you have to have feedback for it. It's just as you read or looked at anything. I'm not giving you a lot on the video, so there probably isn't going to be much that you take from this. But just write a very short comment on, I really liked this, or I have a question about this, or I think I'm going to try this, anything like that. So it doesn't have to be anything long. And there's actually a little video at the blend space that explains how to do that, that I actually just videotaped my own screen with my own voice in the background. So if you're not sure how to do that, and of course anybody can help you. So I always want to do something to hold people accountable for at least that they've viewed this, and also why not dig in a little bit deeper and post a comment on that Google community and everybody will be able to see it. So if we do those things, again, the reading the unit plan passes from the Dweck book is required reading. Everything else is optional. And then go to the certified staff community and post a comment. So thanks. Have a great Friday.